So the Chicago Sun-Times has been covering the James Rudisill story quite a bit over the last couple of years, I've noticed. And this one is an editorial slash commentary about a follow-up on the story that I covered just a number of days ago about the GI Bill case that him and his lawyer, who I'm pretty sure has done the case on pro bono, are taking it to, they're trying to take it to the Supreme Court of the U.S. Whether or not the U.S. Supreme Court accepts it as a case to review is a different story altogether. Whatever the case, I just really want to say I appreciate the Chicago Sun-Times for choosing to really support the military community and the statements that they made in favor of the military community, because it's really lacking in a lot of ways from our own government and in the powers to be. And something I really want to point out is that I understand there's a lot of money being circulated, and the government, Congress, the politicians especially, will say, oh, I've put this much money, as many billions of dollars towards veterans, service members, or families. That's a lie. That's false. What you don't know, many of you out there, is that most of the money, the billions of dollars, are not going to military veterans, service members, or their families. It's actually going to Department of Defense contractors. It's going to people that work in the civil service system that in many cases aren't doing their jobs and are in management, and they're the worst of the worst, okay? And these like Veterans Health Administration, Department of Defense type organizations, okay? And also a lot of the money is fraud, waste, and abuse. And so most of the money never sees the light of day to benefit veterans, service members, or families. Even like the health stuff that they claim that will help save veterans' lives, that's false. It's just going into the pockets of random civilians that don't have the best interests of service members, veterans, or their families in mind at all. But I appreciate the Chicago Sun-Times and their editorial piece for supporting their kind words for the military community, which seemed very heartfelt. It was very heartwarming reading this. And the title is kind of cut off here, but it's basically saying shortchanging benefits is no way to thank veterans for their service. And whatever the case, I just want to say I really appreciate the Chicago Sun-Times editorial piece on this. And that when you hear politicians talk about all the money from the taxpayers that's going towards veterans, service members, and families, just know that you're actually being lied to. The money's being squandered. Most of it never sees veterans, service members, or their families to benefit them. So know that.